fashion industry. Did you know that fashion industry is actually one of the dirtiest industry in the world? However, before we get that and dive deep into the issue, we need to understand on how big actually the fashion industry is and what does it include. Now, the fashion industry includes the fast fashion or the casual wear that I'm wearing right now, or the office wear that I'm wearing right now. Now, today we are going to discuss number one about the coronavirus crisis hit in 2020 to the fashion industry, because it was projected that the fashion industry is going to be challenged regarding its resiliency in 2020. And number two, we are going to discuss about the sustainable fashion's future. Now, how can we achieve and transform the fashion industry to become more sustainable through what we call the circular economy? And number three, how we can consolidate and we can transform the fashion industry in general through mergers, acquisitions, and consolidation to create a more consolidated industry that is fashion today.
Producing fashion products has become a lot easier now, and consuming more? Of course, way easier. Even many YouTubers have fashion haul videos as their most wanted videos. But do you realize that the more you consume, the more waste resulted? Look at the pretty box that come with your pretty gowns. Yes, it will become waste. And look at the worn out shirts you bought last year. Yes, it will also become waste. Fashion waste every year are worth $400 billion. But yeah, waste is unavoidable. So, what should we do with those waste issues?
We provide three-step solution based on the problem that we have told before. The first one is merge and acquisition as a solution for sustainable fashion. We believe that this talk time will be a perfect time for big player to do a large-scale merge and acquisition. This is supported by the fact that the fashion industry economic profit has been declined by 90-30% in 2020. It was found that resilient companies thrive during pandemic rather than small companies that have difficulty in their economics operation in last crisis in 2008, which has widened the gap between them post-crisis in 2012 until 2017. Because of that, we believe that investors are currently losing confidence for this industry due to the current result of their performance. This will impair the company's current valuation and lower the stock price, which will lead into lower initial investment costs for bigger companies to do merger and acquisition. However, we believe that the fashion industry will be rebound in this year in 2021. If our assumptions are met regarding to the economic recovery, we also believe that small companies that are not suitable or not merged by another big company will create a bigger and more resilient company that acquire to the current health condition of the crisis. The second step is consolidation into circular economy for sustainability. In addition, we believe that less-scale player major acquisition will lead into a more consolidated industry. We believe that this main problem for this high textile waste from fashion industry, that the industry very fragmented to a point where there are no companies that own more than 1% of the global fashion market share. On the other hand, we believe that in order to reduce waste for this fashion industry, a circular economy must be achieved. This includes the process from designing the product to production until even the post-sales recycling. By transforming the general process and reducing the overall textile production by reusing and recycling used textile. Because if very fragmented condition, coordination to achieve of the circular economy of the fashion industry become very hard to achieve. This result into the fast fashion trend, where companies try to create and identify fashion trend very quickly without giving much emphasis of its sustainability factor. We believe the industry consolidating process will lead into less companies having large market share, which result into them have more power into the market. So the coordination and goal alignment will be achievable more fashionable about them. And the last one In the third step is proven method to conclude the high-risk solution theory. In conclusion, we believe that the consolidation of smaller organizations into bigger ones will be feasibly implemented to increase resiliency. This is also supported by another study case of Indonesian financial case in 1998 or recent acquisition and merger. For example, like in 2021 for Bank Syariah Indonesia, and also when Indonesia had health crisis in 1998 as Bank Mandiri.
Next, regarding the risks of our provided solutions, we believe that we have identified the risk and we have come up with top 5 risks that we need to identify and consider when we are considering our presented solution. And we have also created a risk matrix for us to present to you those risks regarding its impact and probability. The number one risk that we need to identify regarding our presented solution is the economic recovery risk, because we believe that the uncertainty regarding the economy would really influence the customer's purchasing power and its demand. For the second risk, we believe that this is also the second most prevalent risk that we have identified, which is the digital sprint risk. Why? Because number one, we believe that the online or digital channel sales would remain prevalent during 2020 and would still be also stable in 2021 onwards, as the digital online sales would remain dominant in its market share. And number two, we believe that the increase in 10% growth during the 2020 coronavirus crisis would create an impression that the customer has shifted their focus from the offline sales to the online purchases. We believe that it will still remain prevalent 2021 onwards. And lastly, for the last factor, is we believe that even the fashion executive believe that the digital sales would be their best bet to combat the coronavirus crisis. This has been proven by the majority of the fashion executive believe that the digital online sales will be the future, and the COVID-19 is currently the biggest threat to the fashion industry. And the third risk that we have identified is the customer awareness risk. This is because this would create a certain uncertainties regarding the customer's awareness of the social justice that needs to be implemented within the fashion industry. However, we believe that during 2020 or during the midst of the coronavirus crisis, it has been pretty much highlighted regarding the workers' condition within the fashion industry. From the survey from McKinsey, we believe that we have seen that as much as two-thirds of customers that has been surveyed said that the sustainable workers' condition would significantly affect their buying habits of the company. And for the fourth risk of the overstock risk, we believe that the lag for the transformation from the current system within the fashion industry into the circular economy would need time, and we believe that the lag would create an oversupply, which leads to the overstock of the fashion inventory for the fashion companies. That is why for that risk, we believe that it has also been identified from the fashion executive around the globe, and we believe that the fashion executive would create the policies in order to combat the risk. Lastly, we believe that this would be the most important or the most prevalent risk regarding our solution, and it is the M&A prospect risk. Why? Because we believe that there are uncertainties regarding the future prospect of the companies that are being acquired by the bigger companies or the companies that are being consolidated. That is why we believe that a proper due diligence must be done before doing the mergers and acquisition or the consolidation. This is because we believe that there are so much uncertainties regarding those companies, so that we need to properly evaluate and create a proper valuations for those companies before we do the mergers and acquisition to achieve the optimal return for the mitigated risk.
So, that's all we can offer as solutions. Because of that, we believe that Dazzlingly Bright for more ethical,
Sustainable and consolidated fashion industry in years to come. Thank you, everyone.